If you're starting a new business, or perhaps you've just started a business, you've probably thought about your logo and wondering how to tackle that, whether it means trying something yourself or hiring a professional. I'm going to share in this video 3 recommendations that I believe could save you some time, it could save you money, prevent you from needing to backtrack in the future, and will help you to create a logo that actually complements your brand as a whole. I'm Lucy Cooper, founder of Nurtur and branding consultant committed to helping companies like yours to shine through branding. To start this video off, I'm going to talk first a little bit about what a logo actually is and what the term branding means as well, and then I'll share with you my three recommendations to get you started with your new logo. So firstly, it's worth mentioning that the logo on its own is not going to add direct value to your business. It's essentially a piece of artwork. It's like think of it as your signature. So instead of your personal signature, it's your brand's signature. So it is going to be in a lot of places, and it will help people to recognize you, but without actually considering the strategy behind the brand and the research and the link there, you could end up with a logo then that doesn't complement it. It's going to almost have some friction with the rest of your brand. So you do need to consider branding as a whole, not just the artwork of the logo. So branding is essentially how your customer feels about you or your company, your business, your service. It's the feeling that they have beyond those first impressions. As brand guru Marty Neumeier puts it, it's your gut reaction. If you think about what it takes to create this feeling in someone, it's not going to be just the visuals, it's not just the logo. It means considering every area of your business. So everything that you put out there that is visual, everything that you say, everything that you do, that whole experience that the customer has. This is why branding is so important and so powerful and such a big undertaking. So branding does add value to your business. It's an investment, but it is often a big thing to take on, and it can be a big cost if you hire a branding agency to do that for you. Obviously, nothing compares to doing that process properly and thoroughly and with a professional, but I appreciate it's not always it's not always possible in reality as a new company to do that, because you may not have the time or the money to invest in branding straight away. If that's the case, the 3 recommendations I have for you in this video will hopefully get you off on the right track, get you a logo that isn't going to end up needing to change too much in the future. Maybe you can adapt it as you build on your brand. But the idea is that through this video, it will point you in the right direction so that you can grow and expand on the brand without getting to a point where you realise that you've done things completely wrong and you need to come backwards and do it all again. Number 1 is to discover your style and your personality before you think about creating your logo. Try in less than 5 words on a piece of paper, try and write down and summarise what your brand style is. So words that you feel you can stick to when it comes to your visuals and your communication. If you think about, imagine your brand as a person that you are about to meet. How do you want to feel when you meet them? Do you feel energized, empowered? Do they make you laugh? Do they care for you and look after you? What sort of feeling do you want to give your customer? And see if you can summarize that in just a few personality traits. From here on, you can make sure that your logo and the words that you use and all of your visuals adhere to these few words that you've chosen. Something worth mentioning here as well is don't just pick words based on what you want to be. Pick words based on who you really are, because as the founder of your business, you are going to be injecting a lot of your own personality into your brand, and that's going to happen whether you want it to or not. So it's important to actually recognize what your own personal personality traits are. It might help you to ask some friends and family what they particularly admire about you, or what your best traits are if you're not sure. Just get some feedback from people and see if they can become your brand personality traits as well. Number 2, uncover your values. Values is a word that comes up a lot in branding, and it can be a bit confusing and sometimes seen as something that is a little bit fluffy. But the fact is so values are things that you can actually live by. Is how you run your business. So that will affect not only your customers' direct perception of you, but also your employees. They will act in a certain way, and that will also affect how your customers view them as well and interact with them, therefore affecting how they feel about the brand. It affects their overall experience as well as their perception, and you'll find that you'll start to attract like-minded customers and deter the ones that you're not so interested in. So it can be really useful to know what these values are. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing it and what you really stand for. Are there maybe just 3 to 5 things that you feel you live by every day in everything that you do? A couple of examples, one by Ben & Jerry's, is that we strive to minimize our negative impact on the environment. So that's a fairly basic and common value now, is that through everything they do, they must make sure that they adhere to that value. So they're never going to produce a product or a packaging, for example, that goes against that value. Coca-Cola, collaboration is important to them, leveraging collective genius. So you can see that these are things that you can actually action and that you can motivate as well. You can motivate your staff with these values. Think about when you meet someone new for the first time and you have an early conversation, you gain a first sort of initial impression of them, but it's only when you actually get to know them and you have these deeper conversations and you learn what matters to them and what their values are that you actually really connect with that person and decide if they're going to be a long-term friend for you or not. It's just the same when it comes to your brand and the relationship between the brand and the customer. I will be producing a video purely on values, and when I do, I'll include that in the comments below so that you can have a look at that in a little bit more detail and discover what your brand values are. And finally, number 3, imagine that your customer is the CEO. So when you're coming to making decisions on the logo, try putting your customer at the heart of your company and imagine that they're the ones making the decisions and you are there to support them. So if you're able to take a step back from the process and not let your own first impressions and personal tastes get in the way, because essentially it's the customer that's going to be the one that's interacting with your brand. So it's about what they like rather than what you like. Can you picture who your typical customer is? Do you know what they expect from you? Do you know how they expect you to look, to fit in with what their beliefs are? Now, if you keep these recommendations in mind with everything that you do for your company, so not just the logo, but everything that you do, and if you do hire a designer, make sure that they know and understand all of these things that you've uncovered, and they will hopefully start you off in the right direction. So you will change and adapt as you grow, and you may well invest in branding further down the road, but this gives you a really good starting point, and hopefully there won't be any drastic changes in direction as you go forwards. I've got pins and needles, so good luck with it. I know that I've breezed through some quite big branding fundamentals in this video, but like we said, you're just getting started. You want to try your product, so don't worry too much. Just do enough to make sure that you're at least pointed in the right direction when it comes to branding, and you can grow it from there. Don't put too much pressure on yourself in the beginning. And I really hope that you discover a logo that suits your brand and becomes part of your brand story. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you like this video, please click the like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If there's anything in particular that you want to see videos of as well, please let me know as well. I'll be happy to do that for you. And if you want to see more content like this online, you can visit my website nurturbranding.co.uk and go to the guidebook page. You'll see in guidebook it'll be full of content on branding and brand strategy, all free downloads, articles, videos, data, that sort of thing, completely free for you, just to help you expand and grow your business and your branding knowledge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.